Well, author Patricia Fischer is here with some great reads for kids navigating the new school year, plus a few books for you if you've got a little extra time on your hands. Hi, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
I am always interested in what you are reading because I know you have so many different books that you're checking out constantly. There's something for everyone on the list. I love that.
So I always say start with a children's book if it's a subject that's kind of overwhelming. So autism can feel like that. And Holly Robinson Peete and her son RJ wrote a book called Charlie Makes a Splash. And it's a companion book to my brother Charlie. So RJ and Ryan are siblings, and they Ryan's written a book about having a brother with autism, and then now RJ's written his book. And I think it's really cool because the school year started, and so a lot of kids are trying to make new friends, and this is especially hard for children with autism. So understanding how your friend who might be autistic processes, this can help.
And that's a great way to learn as well, by reading a book. And a children's book, it's not going to take forever to get through. Lots of good information in there. Okay, what about Same But Different? What's that about?
Same But Different is more of a middle grade read, and it's by Holly, RJ, and Ryan. And they talk about the whole spectrum of being a family with a child with autism, having a sibling, all of it. So really how to kind of navigate things and to, make everything great. So yeah.
Good deal. Great information there. Okay, let's talk about maybe a middle school book, middle grade.
Yes.
Disney's Twisted Tales series. What's that about?
So it's a what if version of all the Disney stories. So this is the 13th edition, the 13th one, and I've been waiting for a year and a half to talk about this book.
Really?
Because Farrah Rashan, who I've mentioned before, is one of my favorites, and she wrote the Tiana's version, so Princess and the Frog version. So this is what if Tiana made the deal. So she gets everything she wants. She gets the restaurant, her dad's alive again, all these things happen, but things are kind of off. So she has to figure out, what Dr. Fassier has done, and she has to figure out how to fix it. And that is a full circle moment right there. Farrah just went on the Disney Wish, which I'm not jealous at all. And that's with Tiana and the book.
Nice.
So I'm so excited.
I love that. I love that you're a fan. Let's talk about maybe some inspirational, motivational books. We'll start with Life is So Good.
So this was written by a gentleman who was 98, and I found out about this book because the school he was named after is thinking of banning the book. So I was like, okay. So this gentleman at 98 said, I'm kind of tired of being illiterate, so I think I'm going to learn to read. And so he did. And he inspired a ton of people. He basically, his life, though, it chronologically goes from the entire 1900s. I mean, the gentleman lived to the late 1800s to 2001.
Wow.
The whole 1900s he talks about. And it's narrated by LeVar Burton. I mean, you can't, this gentleman's words and LeVar Burton's voice, I mean, come on.
The stories, I imagine he can tell.
Yes.
That's pretty amazing. All right, let's talk about some, I suppose, relaxing books. Fiction, romance, what to do if you have some extra time on your hands.
Right. So with Neighbors Like These is about, my friend Tracy, who wrote it, calls it a mom-com. But it's a single mom or divorced mom who ends up in a new neighborhood, and her kids put out these cute little gnomes, which I have one right there, cute little gnomes in the front yard, and she gets a letter from the HOA said that is not proper yard etiquette. You cannot have gnomes. And so she's like, oh, really? So she takes on the HOA, whose president happens to be a very good-looking single guy.
Good-looking single guy.
So here we go. And she always writes really lovely, fun stories. And then we have 10 Years, which is a little bit of a deeper subject. It's about a mutual friend who passes away, and an enemies to lovers situation where the friend who passes gives them a bucket list, and they have to accomplish everything on this bucket list.
Oh, cool.
Right, and during this time, they end up finding a connection on multiple layers, let's say.
And maybe if you weren't able to go somewhere this summer, but you need an escape, try Rome for the summer.
Rome for the summer. Lynn writes these amazing situations, and you can hear the music and you can smell the food, but this is a dual timeline. So she's got someone in the modern day who figures out there's a mystery about a painting from 200 years ago. Then she brings in the person who's in the painting, and she's doing two timelines, and then we see how they come together. But amazing, amazing story.
Every single one of the books that you mentioned today interests me.
Yay!
I love it. Thank you so much. Great information, great books. Guys, you can connect with Patricia online. Just go to patriciawfischer.com. She's got all sorts of great information on her website, and then be sure you're following her on social media at Patricia W. Fischer, author.